Hey everyone, welcome to this group. If you're part of this group, affiliate marketing group, then you know who I am. If you're just joining, hi, welcome. And today we have a very special guest for you, Melissa Ricker, Price Ricker, and she's not only a mom, but she got a degree in being a nuclear engineer. I'm trying not to mess that up because I know on TV I see sometimes people say nuclear or nuclear, and so I'm trying to not have that moment right there. She is super cool, and she recently started promoting the One Funnel Away challenge, which I know a lot of you guys are familiar with. She shot up to number 6, and we are here to provide you all the value, and I'm gonna ask her how she did it. But also, I want to let you guys know about Melissa in her own words and have her tell you guys a little bit about herself. So, hey Melissa, welcome, and can you tell us a little bit about your origin story? I want to hear.
Yes, I will. So thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. So yeah, like you said, I have kind of a interesting background as far as like it's 180 degrees from what I'm doing now. But I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. That thought never kind of really crossed my mind. I wanted to be the corporate person, and I went to Texas A&M and got my bachelor's and master's degree in nuclear engineering back in the day. So at that point, I mean, entrepreneur wasn't even on my radar. And I went out into the corporate world, and I started as an engineer, and I quickly kind of moved up the ranks, and I was an engineering manager. I actually had a team of like 15 people working for me. I was the only woman in in this field, definitely the only the female technical manager. So it was pretty cool. I liked it. I loved it. Like, I just wanted to go to the top of the company as fast as I could. And then I got pregnant and I had this little baby. And after I had this little baby, for those of you who are parents, you know how it changes everything. It just, I was no longer okay with working, 12, 16-hour days and being on call all the time and having to respond to every emergency. And I went back to work after I had him, and I was miserable. Like, I just, I remember it's like rushing to work. I left the house before he woke up, and then I would just rush to work so that I could get my phone out and look at the security camera because I just missed him. Like, it's terrible. And then I didn't get home again until he's ready to go to bed. And I was basically watching somebody else raise my baby. And when he was 9 months old, I was like, I can't do this anymore. This isn't how I want my story to go. And so I walked away. Like, I walked away from a job where I was making, well over 6 figures. And I had spent at that point, 10 years of my life building this career. And, everybody was just like, what are you doing? You're throwing so much away, everything that you've worked so hard for. And, I had just made the decision, like, it wasn't worth, like, the price tag was too high.
Yeah.
And, like, here I am in my head, I'm thinking, I'm a freaking nuclear engineer. Like, I can make money from home. Of course I can. Of course I can. And then I struggled. Like, I could not figure it out. Like, it was such a different world, and it's just so different than anything that I had done. And I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, it was horrible. But the problem, like, the real problem was that, like, I was this 6-figure big shot boss lady, and my identity had become so wrapped up in that career and that success. And without it, like, I felt like a failure. Like, I was like, who am I? What did I do? And I really started questioning myself, and I didn't want to leave my baby. I loved being a mom, but at the same time, I was like, I have to have something. Like, that having success is such a, like, becomes such a part of me. And it felt like I wasn't myself without it anymore. And it was hard. Like I rode the struggle bus and in
When you
last
say,
year,
and sorry to interrupt, when
no,
you
go ahead.
wrote the struggle bus, I want to say hi to everyone right now. Hey, Chris. Hey, Heather. Hey, Giovanni. I'm looking this way because this is my third screen. Hey, Frank. Hey, Colin. Hey, Adessa. Hey, Angelique. Hey, everyone joining. Thanks so much for hopping in and saying hi to us. Smash the heart button. I want you to be reassured that if you're struggling, Melissa came from, she's a nuclear engineer. She's a 6-figure boss. She has 15 people under her, and she struggled as well when she first started. So don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up if you're like, I can't get this. What is going on? So how did you struggle? What was, when you said it didn't work, what did you actually try that didn't work?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Like I have a list. I started keeping a list. I tried 17 different business ideas. 17. Now, I jumped ship. So I never, put all into one of them. But like, as soon as it didn't work, I would jump to another one, try something there. I'd go buy the course, I'd hire the coach, and I mean, everything from blogging to coaching to writing a book I've just done it all.
Wow.
I didn't know what to do because I couldn't figure it out. And goodness, like last year, 2018, I spent over $25,000 in coaching and programs, and I was like, if I just throw some more money at it, it'll fix my problems. And it's still, I mean, nothing works. And then come into 2019, and I was like this close to giving up because I was like, either I'm going to have to just be okay with just being a mom, or and I don't mean that bad, like just being a mom, but like
it's a job too.
It's a job, but like just do that and just accept failure, or I'm gonna have to go back to the corporate world because I just can't keep failing over and over and over again. So I was this close to like giving up. And then I came across the One Funnel Away challenge. I've been obsessed with funnels for a couple of years. Like I liked the idea of them, but I couldn't, every funnel I made flopped, so I came across this One Funnel Away challenge, and I was like, what's another $100? I already spent like
$25,000. Oh my God.
And so it was kind of like a last ditch effort, and like something just made me put on my blinders, and I was like, I'm just going to not question anything. I'm just going to do what I'm told to do step by step and just do it, and no excuses. I don't care how uncomfortable it is. And so that's what I did. Like for that whole challenge, I just did exactly what they told me to do. Didn't ask questions, didn't, try to tweak it. I just did what they told me to do. And that was the end of March. So I think it started like the end of March and went through April. And, fast forward like 90 days. And now I just smashed through my July income goal, and it's not even the end of July. So it's like a whole different world, 90 days.
A life can change in 90 days.
A life can change in 90 days. It's a whole different story over here.
Oh, I have Alexa on my computer. Oh, oops. Continue.
Okay. Yeah, no, like, I think part of it was like, I knew at this point because I'd hired all the coaches, I'd done all the things. I knew a lot, but like, I don't know what exact piece was missing, but a big part of it was the fact that I was really ashamed and embarrassed of admitting that I walked away from this 6-figure job and couldn't make anything work from home. And so I think part of that was it held me back. And you know how Russell Brunson is, tell your story, tell your story, tell your story. And so I just did it. And when I started telling my story, people just started coming to me, and they just wanted to hear more about it. And they wanted to know like what I was doing and how I was applying it to my business now and what was changing. And before I knew it, like I had all these like multiple income streams coming in one of them being the One Funnel Away Challenge. I was selling my own little mini courses. I built out my funnel that I, in the One Funnel Away Challenge, and that was like making bank. And I had grown this Facebook group to like 2,000 people almost like overnight. And they were buying what I was recommending. And it was just like, it all kind of started from me just like being honest and transparent with where I was and where I wasn't. And it's just been kind of mind blowing that like, I didn't think I had a good story. I never had a rags to riches story. And so I didn't want to tell my story. And then I started and it was like, maybe that was the missing piece.
I think for me, if it's like a story of struggle, like if you struggled, even though you were a six-figure, income earner, boss, you still struggled to make things work at the beginning. And a lot of people can totally relate to the struggle, especially if you're someone who already are accomplished and you're intelligent, then they can really relate to that. They're like, oh, someone who's really, really intelligent still struggled. Okay, like it's okay, then you create, I think in your story, you create this safe space around you.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I've been there, it's okay, and it's okay to keep going. And then one day you hit that point, and in 90 days, then you blow up. So it's, to me, there's something very comforting in that. Like,
it is. And I don't know why I was so embarrassed of it before, but, it's actually, it's good because for some reason I wanted to have this, this like overnight success story. And that was what was holding me up. But like, anyone that tells you making money online is easy or you can do it overnight is lying to you. And so now like I feel good about telling my story, because then when people get started in this business and they struggle, I'm not telling them that that's not normal. I'm telling them that's very normal. And it's okay to struggle. And you're just like this close to unlocking what's going to blow up your business, just the same as it did for mine.
Yeah. And for my audience who haven't tried One Funnel Away and, is looking at it from the outside looking in, you're saying you tried all these things and now you're trying this, and you actually trust in the process and you put on the blinders and you're not being deterred by shiny object syndrome. What were if you could condense it, what were the things that were different this time besides you trusting the process? Like, what was it actually? Because I want to, how people sometimes they're on the fence and they're like, well, I don't know if it worked. You're someone who's like, hey, it actually worked. But then I really want to know, like, what is it that worked? If you could tell us, like, to those who are still struggling, what is it that actually worked for you?
What really worked, and maybe this ties back into the fact that I'm such a nerd and I like, equations and stuff like that, but like getting your business off the ground, like it's just a formula. Like it really is. I mean, back in college, I used to solve the diffusion equation, and I could just do it in my sleep. And I was so good at it because it was like, do this, do this, do this. And getting your business off the ground and running a business, it's the same thing. Like the only difference is that there's no like one right answer. There can be many different answers. And that's what the One Funnel Away Challenge, I think, laid it out. They said, here's step one, here's step two. Don't skip ahead. Like literally get this right and then go to the next and go to the next. And you're building up this foundation. And when you do it like that, even though like your business looks a ton different than my business, like that, the formula, the foundation is there, and it's just a formula and following the steps. And so I think when I just put on my blinders and was like, I'm not going to try to jump to point B because I'm still back here at point A. And so what is the first step that I need to take towards point B? And I just took it and I applied it. And I actually, instead of just being in learning mode and trying to just get more knowledge, I actually was like, I'm going to apply the knowledge and take the steps and take the action. And that's what the whole challenge is designed to do. And it just worked.
So what you're saying is what's unique about the challenge is that no matter what walk of life you're coming from, they make it so you can come in and follow it step by step. And what you're doing is you're building the foundation for things to work for you, building the foundation of your business. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. It's like you could have a different business. And so how you apply the step to your business is going to look different than how I apply it to mine, but the step is still the same. And
Mhm.
so when you can take something that seems so complicated and overwhelming, like starting a business and making money online is like, it feels complicated and it feels really hard. But when you just break it down into the step-by-step approach, then it's just easy to follow. It's like another, math formula.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate to that. Let me take a moment to say hey to everyone because there's some people who ask questions and I
Yeah, go ahead.
involve the audience in these questions. Hey Corey, the struggle is real. He hashtag. Hey Vic, hey Heather, hey Angelique, hey Danny. Hey guys, Jason says Alexa. No, don't say that. Make me a sandwich. Don't say that, you will trigger. Okay, Heather says, what did you sell in the One Funnel Away challenge? Did you sell ClickFunnels as an affiliate? If yes, how did you get traffic? So some specific questions.
Oh, good question. So I did, like, after going through the One Funnel Away challenge, and I was already like I just liked funnels. I just never had gotten successful with them. So my business kind of already revolved around funnels, just unsuccessfully. And so I started taking what I learned in the One Funnel Away challenge and applying it to different parts of my business. So I created out my whole, my One Funnel Away, the actual funnel that I built in One Funnel Away. And at that point, I wasn't even promoting One Funnel Away. That hadn't really, like, light bulb hadn't gone off yet. So I was putting this together, and so I just started driving traffic. I did a little bit of paid ads, but at the same time, I started a new Facebook group, and I was growing this Facebook group, and it was growing really quickly. And I was just showing up there, and I was talking about what I was learning, because I kept getting hung up on this thing, like, why is anyone gonna listen to me if I have no results, right? That's what I was hung up on it. And so what I did to get around that kind of mental block is I was like, here's what I'm learning, and here's how I'm applying it to my business, and here's my results, here's what's working, and here's what's not. And so my community was exploding, and they loved it because they could see both sides, and they weren't getting that anywhere else. Everyone focuses on the successes and not a lot on the failures, and so I wasn't like reinventing the wheel, but I was just showing how I was applying it. And so that's where most of my traffic is coming from, is my Facebook group. And
Mm.
so I obviously, I started having all this success around the One Funnel Away challenge. So I did like a webinar on about the One Funnel Away challenge and how I was applying it. And everybody like just came out of the woodworks and was buying it through my link. And that's how I shot up the leaderboard. I didn't even know there was a leaderboard until I was on it. And I found out I was number 14 on the list, and the top 10 got to go on this big trip. And so I created, a bigger offer, and I went and back to this community that was super engaged and already liking all my stuff. And, I did another webinar, and I, showed all like my secrets about how I was applying it to drive these different income streams. And I told them, I was just very honest. I was like, I'm number 14. I want to get to number 10. And, I think it was because like I had been pouring value into them, and they rallied behind me. Like I'm not a crier, and I was like brought to tears because they were just pushing so hard for me. And like, that is really the value of having this community built, because they will get behind you when something like that comes up. And it was just super cool to see. So I think I had over 100 people sign up in a week for One Funnel Away. Like,
Oh, wow.
crazy.
That is awesome.
And so I shot to the top like out of nowhere, and it was really cool. And then they were so excited for me and celebrating with me. And, of course, I'm going to go back and teach everything that I learned at the mastermind to them. And so like, it's this amazing way to have this. So that's where most of my traffic comes from. Most of my sales come from my Facebook group.
Yeah, I feel like Facebook has recently shifted focus with their mobile platform, especially to honor the power of Facebook groups. Facebook groups have kind of exploded. Before I, I was growing my Facebook group, and then I saw engagements in other groups, but like kind of here or there. And now I'm seeing groups that have so many people just showing up every single day. It encourages them to, like, one Facebook group is all about showing up live challenges. I think that's Corey's.
Yeah, yeah.
And I see so much participation, and it's like these groups help bring out whatever it is that's in you, because you feel like a space where you can give back, or you can provide value, or you can show up and not be judged for it. And I feel like it's a bunch of, instead of, Alcoholics Anonymous group, it's kind of like all these support groups that before we were left on an island, right? And if you don't want to be an island, you're going on all these old school forums and you're like part of these forums, or part of the, Quora, or part of these places, but you can't talk to each other. It's more like you submit something. But now in a group, you can communicate, you can bond, and you can form these relationships and this connection. And so to me, it's like the power of groups, it's pretty much exploding these days.
It is. It's really cool. And then when as the leader of the group, when you build your group with a specific intention, then you fill it full of people who want that. They want it already, or they wouldn't have signed up for your group. So then when you make the offer, like, it's like the most obvious thing in the world, because you've got a very focused group where you're talking about one topic, and they wouldn't show up if they didn't want it.
Yeah. And because I have software that like GroupConvert, it helps people grow their groups and helps people convert their groups. It has actually made me be able to see in a bunch of different groups that are exploding, and what's causing them to explode. And it's making me go, wow, the possibilities are really limitless. There are ways you can explode your group with Facebook ads to a messenger bot explode. Like, I had one of my users, she exploded her group to 7,000 members within just a few months running a Facebook ad. And I'm like, what? How can you do that? And then another member, he exploded his Shopify store because it's from Facebook to Shopify, and it's Facebook group to Shopify. And it makes me think, like,
wow,
gosh. And actually some of my users, they have like 10,000 plus pending requests to join their group. So they're before I click approve all, I want your software, And so it's like, you never know how big it can really get, and how many people you can influence by starting something small like a Facebook group. So
it's so true. And I have your GroupConvert, and I love it. And it's another way to serve your audience too, because I can send them an email. I capture their email, and then I know who's in my group, and I can let them know when things are happening and follow up with them. Because not everybody's going to be able to catch your live, or they're going to remember when it's at. So I love GroupConvert. It's amazing. So thank you.
Put that part out. That's going to be a testimonial video for
do it. I love it.
But hey Dane Bettridge, hey Anton. Oh, Marcus just joined. Marcus and I were going to be launching in August soon, and we're going to be reaching out to affiliates. We actually made Spencer Meekum like $5,000 in affiliate commissions for one webinar.
Wow.
And so it's like, our offer is pretty special, and so look out for that. I might reach out to you, Melissa, because
that's amazing. Please do. Yes.
But let's see. Anyone have questions? Angelique says, or is it my Chrome browser? Okay, they're just talking among themselves with traffic off of Facebook. So, okay, here's my question. I know for Doug Botten, you said your method is very similar to his. So what he did differently was when people joined his group, he asked them questions like, do you have ClickFunnels? Like, you know, and then his first post, welcome post, where if you guys don't know what a welcome post is, it's a feature of Facebook groups where you can actually tag every single person who recently entered your group and make one post. With that one post, it tags everyone, and it's so powerful because people get notified not only in the little bell, but also the bottom of their screen. And what that does is bring a ton of attention to your one post, the welcome post. And Doug says he put his link to his webinar as the welcome post. I want to get super specific because I know, you know, I want to have my audience know, okay, this is what's really working besides the general overall story, besides saying, you know, follow, trust the process, you know. So what is it that you, what technique that you did? Was that similar to Doug's technique, or you, I'm not saying Doug is the original founder of that thing.
Oh, no. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
So I have, you know, a similar process. So, you know, when people come new into my group, I do the welcome post. And what I basically say in the welcome post is kind of long, but I, you know, I have it on a Google Doc so I can copy paste. But I just say like, welcome, of course. And here, and I let them know like, here's how you can get the most out of this group. You know, because I know it's a very specific group that they want to learn about funnels and automation in their business. So I know that they want that. So I want them to engage in the group. And so I let them know about like their stuff in the unit section. I go live in my group every Monday and teach something. So I let them know that. And then I just go ahead and start telling people which directions they can go. So like, for example, I have a funnel for network marketers who want to use funnels to build their business. And so I say, hey, if you're a network marketer, here's my free guide. Of course, I've got upsells and all that stuff attached to it. You know, if you want to grab my multiple income stream model, here's a funnel for that. It's got all kinds of upsells. And then I say, if you want to, and then I have like a little blurb like, my business changed after taking one funnel away. Check that out. We got that link. So I've got a few links there. And what I found is like, there are some people who they don't know you. Most people have to know you a little bit before they buy, but there are some people who are they're just ready. And so if you just give them that next step right away, they're going to take it. And so I make sales every single day off of my little, you know, they're just little, you know, free guide with a tripwire, order bump, and an upsell. But I make 100, 200, 300 bucks a day off of those. And it's just from that welcome post. The other thing that I do in my group is I always like, I'll pin my latest video at the top. And if I do like have a masterclass, that'll be pinned at the top, you know, for a long time. But in every video I make some sort of offer. I give a lot of value and I'm teaching, but I always make an offer. And I think a lot of people shy away from that because, you know, they feel salesy or whatever, but people are there to learn something. And when they're ready, you know, they don't have to take the next step, but if you don't make the next step obvious, then you're not serving them well because they're ready for that next step. And so I always make some sort of offer off of every video and it's tagged at the top of the post. So people are commenting and it's showing up in their newsfeed. And I mean, people are just, they when they're ready to take that next step and they buy something from me. So not monetizing your Facebook group is a huge mistake because people, they need the next step.
Yeah. I actually, a lot of the challenges that I've been in were like make an offer every single day. And the ones, my digital marketers who are successful, not only are they have offers just everywhere, but then they actively make offers in their videos weekly or daily.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I think to someone entering into the space and they feel like, oh wow, this is so scammy, you know,
Yeah.
It's because they're not mentally there yet to change their life. But then when you convert someone, when you have someone buy into what you're offering or buy into an offer, I feel like every single time that happens, it's a chance and it's a moment for their life to be changed. Like your life, you know, a lot of like failures after leaving this high level job, and then the one funnel away challenge comes in and you bought into that. It's $100, but still it's like, it's something that you enrolled in, you purchased, and then that changed everything, you know. And it makes me feel like for those of you brave enough to make these offers, to continue making offers, you're actually putting out seeds to change someone's life. And so when I changed my perspective from, okay, I gotta, you know, I have to make an offer because I have to make it online, I have to make money, you know, like you change that perspective from I have to, you know, I want to, it's fulfilling. It's something that you don't see as nasty or salesy or sleazy. It's a chance to plant these seeds to change someone's life, because who knows, $100 offer could change the trajectory of your income, which is what it did for you. So it doesn't even matter what's the price of the offer, as long as there's value behind the offer, then like talk about it, you know, as often as you can, because you never know whose life it could change. Like Russell Brunson, you know, is doing all this stuff. He doesn't know that it would change your life that way. But but having it out there and being able to do that every day, it's, when I do it, it's that's how I feel about it. That's the perspective in my mind, the mental trick that I have that makes me feel better about it, because I did struggle with it. I was like, oh God.
The other thing that I've kind of wrapped my head around with that same topic is that people want to buy. And so if you don't give them that next step, they are going to leave you and go find someone else who will. So if you can help them, give them that next step because they want to take it.
Yeah. People are, some of them are very frustrated with where they're at, and they really want to do it. And some of them are already really like well off, but they just want to try something different. And I found the case that it's like every day there's a bunch of online, especially all the time, that's happening. So
That's true.
Absolutely. If you don't have an offer, someone else will, and all these buyers ready and willing to invest in themselves are going to go elsewhere and not go to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So yes. Hey, Stacia. Hey, Simon. Hey, Greg. Hey, Mishba. Thanks for joining us. Angelique says, is there a bot or software that can send a bunch of personalized messages, like an invitation or another message in a private message to people in your Facebook friends list? I don't know. That's super specific.
I don't know the answer.
Do you use any bots?
I do. So actually, that's one thing I left off of my welcome. In my welcome message, I have a link for them to subscribe to my bot. And so I just tell them, like, if you want to get notified what happens in the group, subscribe here. And then like once a week, I'll just make a post to the main group. And that way, like right before I go live, I can send out a message bot. And so that's how I handle it. I don't know if there's a way to do it. I don't know if there's another way to do it, but that's how I do it. And I have a very high percentage of people who subscribe to my bot just to get notified of when I go live.
Yeah, that's a really good technique, especially since now you can have, well, with ManyChat, you can have, guys, if you don't know ManyChat or Messenger Ref URL, it might sound like foreign and like an alien or something. Messenger Ref URL, just Google it. You can have a link, and that link will bot whoever clicks on it. So they will be subscribed to your bot. So if you do a broadcast, then everyone who subscribed to your bot will get a little message on their Facebook, which has a very high read through and click through rate compared to email or any other means. I don't know. To me,
it does. Like people they want to open they're used to opening their Facebook Messenger. Which while we're on that subject, I'll just tell you something else that's worked really well for me. Inside my funnels, I always link so like anytime I have like a sales page, I have a messenger bot that's already set up with like the FAQs. And so they can go through, it's like, if you have any questions, and they can just go through this bot, and the bot will answer all the normal questions. And if they have something totally off the wall, they can connect live with me through the bot. And I get so many people that have questions, and they go through the bot, and then they end up buying the product. So it's like a super, super like, because nobody wants like, I don't know, like messaging me directly is like, I guess, can be intimidating if they have like a question, but they can go through this bot, and they, they feel more comfortable and confident in going. I don't know what it is, but they will go through this bot. It answers all their questions, and then they buy the product. So kind of something I've learned this year is that messenger bots inside your funnels are really cool.
Wow. Hey guys, Andy said there's a slight echo. It's because I'm in a room and it's pretty much no furniture in here. So I'm trying to do all these things. Like, I'm trying to limit that echo, but I just moved in and it's like pretty much empty here. But you know what you're saying? I actually spoke to, his name is Matthew Leeds, and he made the bot for ManyChat. Like, ManyChat hired a company to make their bot, and he runs a $10 million a year company on 4 employees. And he said that there is a use to the bot that is different than what we think it is. And if you make it dynamic, if you make it funny, it tells jokes, and it does all these things, you can make a money flow bot, which is what I feel like you're starting to step into. Because with the Q&A bot that you put in through all your funnels, what that bot is doing is selling for you in your face. And so that's how he makes a lot of his sales, through his own bots. His own bots are selling his own programs for him. So instead of creating a lot of employees, they're doing the selling. So if you tweak your bot is already, working and selling for you, but if you make it funny, if you make it tell jokes, like he's like, that really converts a lot of people, because they enjoy being in the bot, and it's not just one thing and it's bland.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to put some jokes in mine. I do have some funny little GIFs or GIFs, however you say it, and people do like those. I always get little messages back saying those are funny. So that's a good tip. I'll definitely have to go back and put some jokes in. But it's super cool how that can happen. I used to get on the phone with people to close sales, and like now I can use a bot. Yes, please.
I actually bought his bot that you can input. It's a bot where if you go in, you input 5 fields, and then it'll send that information, like what you do, what offers you provide and everything. And it sends it to like 28 different places around his bot that took his team weeks and weeks to make.
Wow.
And it becomes super dynamic, where if someone revisits your bot and they haven't clicked on something, or it's like, it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks and they're coming back to the bot will recognize that it's coming back at a different time and treat the person that's coming in differently. So you feel, it's more like a live, more dynamic experience. And my mind was blown when I saw it, and I purchased this bot because of that. I'm buying your bot. Whatever you want.
I might have to look that up, because it's one of those things like, I'm just a beginner bot person, and I know how my way around, but there's so much possibility with those things.
Yeah. And I think
it's so super cool.
I think 99% of the people probably using these bots, unless they're a bot agency, they don't know that bots can sell for you. And what you're doing is you're having your bot sell for you. Low bot. I think that should be also a course or an offer you can provide. Like
I do. That's one of my bonuses for the One Funnel Away, is that I have a mini course where I show you all the different ways you can integrate your bot into your ClickFunnels. So that's super cool.
And does it specifically, is the message like have your bot be your salesperson, like have your bot sell for you?
I have a bot that does sell the One Funnel Away challenge, but that's interesting that you said that. Maybe I'll have to think about that. That could be really cool.
Oh yeah.
I'm just getting started here. There's so much possibility. I use a bot to, this is totally off topic now.
Doesn't matter. We're
I
hanging
use a bot to build. I have one of my income streams that I do hardly anything with is like I have a network marketing business, and I use a bot to bring people in and to sign them up and then to onboard them as well. So I'm like, it's so hands off. I barely have to do anything with it. So it's pretty cool, all the different things you can do with these bots.
Yeah, beyond GroupConvert, I have all these other softwares that I use, you know, an onboarding bot to onboard people. So instead of having individual workers like schedule a demo every single time, or, you know, call them to retain the person, it's like they get onboarded with a little bot. I
Yeah,
could definitely do more with it, but that really
it's cool. I went through your GroupConvert bot, so I know.
But okay, you guys, if you guys are here, hashtag live. I haven't even said that for a while, or instead of hashtag live, hashtag 11, and then smash the heart button. Usually, what time is it? Oh yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments, because I do want this to be interactive. I'm looking this way because that's the screen. Let me see here. Greg says, hello, ladies. Hey, Marina. Hey, Phil. Matthew Fleming is saying, are you using Diagflow for the automated responses, or are you building out all the flows?
Say that first part again. You kind of broke up.
Are you using Diagflow? D-I-A-L-O-G. Dialogflow. It's my own misspelling. Dialogflow for the automated responses, or are you building out all the flows? Dialogflow? I haven't ever heard of that.
Me neither. So I'm obviously not using it. I don't know what it is. I've been building my flows. I build one and then I save it as a template and just change it out.
Yeah. And Angelique says, what is that? messengerref.com? No, Angelique, it's Messenger Ref URL, and it's a feature inside of ManyChat. All right, cool. Oh, well, I want to ask you, what else have been working for you? And I feel like if you know, my audience could get some more aha moments, then it makes them feel this is at least for me. If I get those aha moments, I'm like, oh shoot, she knows what she's talking about, then I'll like go and follow you. So I want my audience to, you know, go ahead and enter your world and find out more about you, because you're obviously giving a lot of value in your own group. But what else has worked for you besides what you mentioned, which is the messenger bot in your offers, and the Q&A that's selling by itself, I mean, helping you sell, and the welcome post to the video. What else works? Or is that like, is that pretty much like that works, all that works?
No. So I'll tell you, talking about the OFA specifically, and I mean, you could apply it to anything, but anything affiliate marketing wise. But what I did with OFA, because I wanted to, I'm halfway to the dream car and I want to get there faster. And so I've noticed that like building like these relationships, my trials, I have like a crazy high stick rate because there's more, they know they have like this support system. And so what I did is I went through and I went through the One Funnel Away challenge. I took it twice in the beginning. I take it every time, but like I took it twice in it because it took so much, like there's so much there. So I started asking myself, like, how could I, create an offer around it? Because there's already so much there. And so what I did is I created like this, VIP group, and it's just a smaller group of my affiliates to go through this challenge, and we go through it together. I'm there. I do live Q&As. I continue to nurture that relationship, make sure they have my links. I built out this resource page, and actually I offer this to both my free and my VIP group. But it's just, it's a resource page of everything that people are going to need to get their funnels up off the ground. And of course it's full of my affiliate links. And, people ask me all the time, well, what do you use for this? What do you use for this? And I just send them that page, and I make sure that it's obvious there in the group. And so I'm making money off of that without even having to do anything. But then, I created just an offer that nobody else has. And so the One Funnel Away, there's like thousands and thousands of people that go through it. And so it gets very overwhelming. Like you get lost, you can't get your questions answered. But if you buy through me, you can go through this VIP kind of thing. And, I'm there answering your questions like every single day. And so I think what I'm trying to say is, like, when I'm trying to build an offer around something, I look at like what people are going to struggle with, or what I struggled with, and how I can kind of fill that gap and make my offer different than everyone else's. Because like Doug has a great offer, and Steve Larson has a great offer. So how can I make my offer more appealing to, at least to the people that I want to attract? And so because I built a relationship in my free Facebook group, like the relationship was like the theme that carried over to my offer. And everyone was super engaged, and they're likely to be more successful, which means they're going to stay with ClickFunnels, which means I get the monthly commission every time. So I feel like, front loading the work, creating your offer like that, then, you set your people up for more success, especially something that's like a recurring income. Like I don't want to have them sign up for ClickFunnels and then, drop it next month. And so that strategy has been working really well for me. I make the VIP group make pretty good money bringing people in, and then just nurture them and set them up for success so that they stick with it longer. And hopefully that translates into me hitting the dream car here after this next OFA launch.
One more launch.
I know, one more launch.
That is so cool. So you provide more support. You know that once you get into ClickFunnels, there's so many things you can do. Actually, when I got into ClickFunnels, it took me a long time to make my first funnel, simply because when I open the dashboard, there's so many places I can click, so many things I can do, and it just kind of is overwhelming when you're just starting out. So I was actually thinking of software that makes it easier. Like in my world, I was thinking, oh, I can make some kind of onboarding click thing where it says go click here, and it like overshadows the area where you can click, like connect your domain, and then here's how you add email, and here's how you just link everything together. Here's your URL and stuff like that. And I
that would be super cool.
That would maybe be useful. Who knows?
It would be really useful. I had one of the ladies who came through with me in the One Funnel Away challenge. Now she's creating her own offer, and what she did is she was like, for me, what did I need extra? And so she went through and like made notes for every single module of the One Funnel Away, like the Cliff Note versions. And people are like, everybody's like, I want that, I want that, I want that. So it's just kind of thinking about how, because there's so much content there already. You don't need more content. You just need either to help them apply the content or, fill the missing gaps. And so I think that's a good way to think about creating your offer. So just like what you said, like what are people going to struggle with when they get started? And then I can fix it and make that, part of my offer, or sell it,
That same concept applies to my own. I think that what you just said is very, very important, because that same concept applies to my own program in terms of market research. People, when they look to create an offer, it's like there's so much risk if they don't know if someone's going to get it. But someone will definitely get your offer if you do the proper market research, which is look at the things that you can shortcut for people. People pay for those shortcuts. They pay for that collapse in time. And there are monthly recurring costs for, what is it, that program where they have experts do the cliff notes of like the audio books or and then you subscribe to that, and they just tell you, hey, this, instead of reading this whole book, here's what's important in the book. Here's the golden nuggets that you should take away from this book. And so for Doug, he said that what he did was he took a lot of the training and made it the shortcut version. And for you, it's more like it's the VIP group, access to you. And then for the other one, shortcut cliff notes. And absolutely, people are like Marcus, one of my partners for my course I'm launching, he said people are, or someone else said, and he referenced, people are willing to pay for information packaged differently. And when information is packaged differently in a way that lets them get from point A to point B faster, they're definitely willing to pay for that. And so if you fear creating, like for my audience, you guys, if you fear creating something where you don't know if people will get it or not, think about how you can package the existing information that's already there in front of you a different way where it shortcuts time for those entering in.
Or just organize it in a way that is really helpful for a specific type of person.
Oh, that's a different one. Specific type of person, organize it differently. Can you give me an example of that?
Yeah, so like what, like the one funnel away, like it applies to everybody. So what if you could take all that information and just organize it in a way that applies to affiliate marketers or online coaches? I mean, you could get as crazy as you want, or you organize it based on a way that like a certain person likes to learn, like an introvert, or, I mean, the possibilities are endless, but everybody learns differently. So you could either apply it to your specific niche. So like I've done that before where I had a group of people who wanted to do one funnel away and apply it to network marketing. So I took it and I applied it to that because it's different slightly. You got to package it differently. I got people who don't want to do, they don't want to do a lot of videos. So package it differently for them. You know what I mean? Like and a lot of times it's however you like to learn, you can package it that way, or, just organize it a little differently, and it makes a big difference for people.
Oh, absolutely. That reminds me of when ClickFunnels changed their front page from like, hey, look at this, to, hey, what are you? Like, are you e-commerce? Are you this? And they call it the mother funnel.
Yeah.
And that is packaging their funnels in a way for specific types of people. And then I'm pretty sure that works better than, hello, everyone. You can make a funnel with us.
No, absolutely. Like if you could help like realtors apply the one funnel away, for example, like all the realtors are going to come buy from you. Like you only need like a sliver of people, and you set yourself differently that way. So super cool way to think about it.
Yeah, and it is very, very true that you only need a sliver of people to win. Because true. For you, you said like 100 people, right? 100 people in the whole world, I mean, the whole internet is not that many people. But 100 people buying in the course of 1 week, your one funnel away challenge, that's a significant amount of income flowing in for you. And that's just 100 people. And so it's just 100. And this is what I also tell the people who come into my world, who like, because I help people make sustainable businesses with their little softwares that they own. They're like, well, Kim, what if I only have like 50 subscribers or 100 subscribers? And I'm like, well, think about it. They're all paying you like $30 a month. You're making almost 4,000 a month, at like 130 subscribers or something. Very small, but you're able to completely, don't underestimate that you just need a few like people to completely replace like your mortgage or your car payment, or or to reach your next income goal. So I feel like people get discouraged because they think they need to have such a huge list or they need to have such a big impact, when the impact of a very small select group of people is enough for you to see your journey as successful.
And sometimes it's better that way. Like, I mean, a smaller group, if you have 100,000 people in your group, you're not gonna be able to talk to them. You're not gonna be able to answer their questions. And so a lot of them aren't gonna buy from you because they want that relationship and you can't provide it. So when you're small, like take advantage of that small group, because they're gonna respond better to you and you can talk to them and ask them questions and help them. And yeah, totally. Small groups are more fun to me than big groups.
One day you will have like 100,000 people in your group.
I'll have different problems for sure. Like different problems for sure. Growing pains are real, but like I remember, I mean, just 3 months ago, I had, 500 people in the group, and I felt like I knew all 500 of them. And like I started launching stuff and they started buying it. Like, I mean, in 90 days, I've made, I think like almost $40,000 in 90 days out of these different, and it's a small group. I mean, I still have a small group. It's only less than, just about 2,000 people. Like that's not that many. It doesn't take that many.
Yeah. And when I go on YouTube and I see people have like 2,000 subscribers, in my head, I'm like, oh, that's so little. But then I realize like Steven Larson, when he was blowing up and making like almost $1 million a year or something, or 4 million a year, I think, or whatever, several million a year, his YouTube channel only had like 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
so,
it doesn't take much.
So yeah, it's like there's so much power in starting small and even having just a small group. So that's actually really hopeful, like a very hopeful landscape that I see for people trying to make money online.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hey
I'm
guys,
looking forward to meeting Steve and Russell. 2 weeks from today, I get to meet them. So
that is so cool. I interviewed Steve Larson, and he's really like down to earth. I could, whenever I see like a video of him, I can tell like he works so hard for for value, and it's just
he does.
And Russell, it's like whole other level that I don't know.
Oh yeah, he is a whole other level, but yeah.
Oh, Greg says, thank you both for that. I actually did get to watch that interesting live, but I understood Kim hint that the jokes may have been done creatively and dynamically. So if Matthew Leach is the brains behind how the jokes get given, then that is something I or / we can do in any platform, and I can continue to use what I am doing now then. Thank you. Well, thank you, Greg. I thought there was going to be a question in there, but I was reading for that question. But thanks. Hey, Tarina. Thanks for joining us. Eric says, what in Chrome Boss? Oh, let me know, Eric, exactly what you're talking about. Matthew says, she was referencing the Facebook Live from last week. Yes. Okay, cool. So they're just talking to each other.
That's cool. They can answer each other's questions.
All right. So yeah, I feel like, wow, there's so many, I love these interviews because while I'm doing it, I'm thinking as well about all the things that I can implement, because I feel like and let me know if you feel differently, but I feel like for the people who actually have residual income online, they just freaking just make all these things and plant them out. Like, just like, I'm just going to make it. And then one day it started like earning more and more and more. And then, every single day. And then when you look back on your month and you're like, oh my God, I earned this much, but it's from like 19 different places.
And that's super cool, because then if you have you can never have a bad month when you have all those different incomes coming in.
Yeah, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel to have like all those streams of income. And
you really don't. And it doesn't mean that you have to have all these different jobs. You just set it up, strategically from the beginning, and then yeah, it's really cool. Back when I was doing my coaching, one of my 17 different business ideas.
high ticket coaching.
Yeah, I did high ticket coaching for a while, and like I could never take my foot off the gas ever. Like I couldn't even take maternity leave when I had my second baby, because I would have lost everything. And so now, I've got this income that's going to come in every month, whether I'm there or not, and it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, absolutely. Affiliate income is so good. It's just
so good
every single month. I mean, it's kind of, you know, network marketing, MLM has this taste to it. Like it doesn't have a good reputation now, I guess, with um, now I think things are changing. The people are feeling a little bit differently about it, but it still feels like, oh, you're getting a piece of someone else's success. But it's like someone else's success, they're sharing their success with you, and you're making them even more successful by spreading the message, and you're getting like a little slice of it. And
Yeah.
and it's such a great um, you know, thing that exists for people trying to make it online, especially if it's reoccurring every single month. And so all you have to do really is walk towards that direction and don't stop. Don't give up. Don't feel discouraged. Continue walking and try to plant as many seeds online as possible. And one
And you
day,
never know which one is going to take off. You
yeah,
really don't.
yeah, it's a salt. Anyways, I love these conversations. I love talking to you about this. um, let's see. Oh, are you reading? Another question I want to ask you. Oh, well, actually, it's been almost an hour, so let me wrap up with just the last question. Currently, how are you consuming information? And tell me, like, either how selective are you? Like, what's your approach in consuming information now that keeps you successful? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that is important to always be learning, and I love it. And it's like I can't get enough of it. But you know, my time is limited. You're gonna laugh. My time is limited because I'm a mom and I'm only doing this part time. So like, I actually will listen to I choose my content. I listen to it. I listen to it like when I'm in the shower, when I'm in the car. But what I've kind of learned is like you have to really pick a few people to follow. Like if you try to follow too many people, even if they're all geniuses, you're going to go back to that shiny object thing. And, you know, and that's where I kept getting stuck is like, oh, well, this guy, he's having success doing it this way, and she's having success doing it this way. And it's all good, but like pick a couple people that you want to follow and then just follow them and implement what they're doing and take, you know, pieces out of that. And, you know, if you're not getting value from it, pick a new one, but like don't try to follow everybody because it's so tempting to do. There's so many good people out there to follow.
Oh yeah, I think there's even a calendar where you can. It's compiled by this lady a long time ago, like 10 years ago. She would look for influencers and then put their events on a calendar. And so now it's a long time. And so now there's so many influencers online. So the calendar is very full for all these live events that influencers
Interesting.
set up. And at these live events is where you meet people who are very invested in their own education already because they paid for the flight, the ticket to the hotel and everything. They're there for a specific reason. It's not like if someone's scrolling through something and they see
Right.
something by accident. It's a very more focused type of audience. So if you go to these events, then you might find, you know, more solid relationships that you can build on. And so with that said, it's like you could be jumping conference to conference, you know, forever and not, you know, follow like a billion people and not really take action. um, but
It gets addicting, but
yeah,
the other thing is like if you don't have to pick someone that's at the very top of your industry. Like I'd rather pick somebody who's still in the learning mode
mhm.
and they're publishing what, you know, what they're learning and what they're doing. That I get more value out of that just because they're not so far removed from where I am.
Yeah, they're just a few steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I think that's called just in time learning, just in time, because you're just in time for that, and then you
Yeah, exactly.
and you grow as they grow with them as well.
With them. Yeah.
So
It's really
so
cool.
who are you following? I know you're following Russell Brunson, of course. Who
Of
else are you
course.
following right now?
So, you know, now that I'm really getting into the affiliate space, I mean, of course, I follow Steve Larson. It took me a while to really warm up to his way because he's just different, but now I'm like, I love it. So I follow Steve Larson. I get a lot out of value out of him. And then, of course, Spencer Meekum. And I've been following actually Chris Fong. He's very successful in the affiliate marketing space, but he's not a huge guy, big in the industry yet, but he pours so much value in. I think, and that's because of it. Like, he's not huge yet, so he still has the time and all of that. And so I'm learning a ton from him as well. So yeah, and I think that's about all I can keep up with at the moment.
Yes. But yeah, guys, well, thanks for sticking with us. I want you guys to know who Melissa is, follow her Facebook group. Oh, where can they find you, Melissa?
Oh yeah, so I have a Facebook group. It's called, I probably should have named it something simpler, but it's called Income Streams, Funnels, and Automations for Entrepreneurs. I'll probably have to send you the link.
Yes, I'm gonna get the link. So instead of typing that all down, I'm gonna grab the link from Melissa, and then when we end this, I'm gonna put it in the description so they can follow you.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool to know that, guys, with the internet, you have the ability to make several thousand, tens of 20, like you say, 30,000 in the last 90 days for part-time.
Very part-time
effort, and you're full-time, you're a mom, and this is just like side income, but it's like substantial side income that's coming in.
Yeah, I mean, it's finally at that level that I'm replacing what I had in the corporate world, and then some. So super cool.
Yeah. So you can spend time with your loved ones, and you don't have to, this life that you live, sacrifice and work hard to not be around the ones you love.
Yeah, they're the whole reason I left the corporate world. So it's important that I don't take on another full-time job, even if it's building my own business. So yeah, you don't have to. You just have to be intentional with what you do, and make sure that you're taking more action than not.
Yes, even if it's messy,
even if it's imperfect action, yeah, just take it. People like that. They actually really like that. They like it when you mess up, because it shows that you're human, and they're like, oh, it's okay to mess up. I can mess up too. So that was a big hurdle for me to get over. And now I'm just like, look what I did. It was so stupid.
I spent all this money on solo ads and I got like 2 clicks. Just kidding.
Yeah. Here's what not to do.
That's awesome. That bravery. And also, I do speak to people who, and this is probably the people you're also helping in delivering value. There are families who have different, like 2 income earning families, but they have to work at different shifts just because their job tells them. So they're working to earn money to keep the house that they live in, but they barely see each other and they're barely around to enjoy that time. So they're working to maintain a life of not being able to see each other. And that to me is so like bizarre, but that does happen, because if your income is dependent on someone who can say, okay, you will work on this shift and this time, and then you're just spending all that time working hard to keep your house and your car, but you're not spending that time with loved ones. And I think,
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think your movement, what you're doing, is helping a lot of those people be able to earn income online and be able to escape that. I feel like even though that's not like all you're doing, I feel like that demographic is being really helped by you. And yeah, so
yeah, just to see that it's possible, that you don't have to give up your paycheck, but you also don't have to give up the life that the whole reason that you want to bring a paycheck, and you don't have to give that up just to get the paycheck.
Yes. All right, Melissa, thanks so much for showing up today. You guys follow Melissa. I linked her name in the description, so you can go and see all the links she has, but I'm also going to include a link to her Facebook group. So you can become a part of her VIP group if you want to.
Yes, I would love to have you guys.
All right.
Thank you so much, Kim, for having me. And thank you, everybody, for joining.
Oh yeah, if you liked that video, then you will love all the resources that I have over at kimcdang.com. That is KIMCDANG.com. There you will find all my courses, my extensions, all the offers that I have, as well as a lot of free resources if you are just getting started.